A month ago, the Grizzlies were like, "Oh, you saw that John Morant? After it was before or after or in the middle of the 11-game win streak." And John Morant was like, "I ain't scared of anyone except the Boston Celtics." When they asked him, like, "Oh, anybody in the West?" Nah, we good in the West, he said. And it kind of feels like the Grizzlies past week or two have slightly slipped.
Oh, they have, and it's been bad.
Why is that?
Well, the Steven Adams injury doesn't help. I think they have this nice. I like that the Memphis Grizzlies are in the league, but I have a couple of teams that Josh should be afraid of, and it's the Lakers, Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State, Minnesota, and Portland, because now they've lost 6 of their last 7. So, yeah, John Morant.
They've only won 4 games in their last 10 games.
Ja's a great basketball player. Yeah, because they had that win streak right before. 6 of 7's a more desperate number. They have all these nice pieces. I like John Contra, I like Cyro Williams, but I do think that they should make a move. They have kind of a weird log jam as far as, these are nice basketball players. David Roddy, Jake LaRavia, like these are good basketball players, but if they want to make a big time move, I think they should make a big time move, because you have, Triple J's 6 blocks last night. He's unbelievable. You have the best backup point guard in basketball. Like, you have Dillon Brooks as a possible trade chip. I think OG Anunoby is a team that if he were to go to Memphis, I would not be all that pleased, because I think that really, really, really helps them. So
I agree that the Steven Adams, people don't realize Steven Adams, he's kind of like, not only is he the biggest guy on their team, he's the best offensive rebounder in the league. And this team, I believe, shoots like one of the most 3-pointers in the league, but like not at the best clip. So having Steven Adams out there, no dish against Jaren Jackson Jr. or Santi Aldama, but those guys aren't like rebound inhalers. Like Steven Adams absorbs boards. So I think that presence in the paint being gone is being hard to replicate, because Xavier Tillman, Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr., Santi Aldama, they're all great, but they don't do what Steven Adams does. And also Steven Adams, culture setter, guy that can play with anyone. I think that injury, they don't have a pure backup big man on this team. The rest of their bigs are Jaren Jackson Jr., Santi, 2 guys who are like more power forwards who can play center. Xavier Tillman's a small ball 5. Brandon Clark, same thing. They're all like not pure centers. And I think they've lost their control of the paint. And obviously, this team is head over heels, got a bunch of cushion in the win columns from the 6th seed. So I don't expect them to fall in the standings, but it seems like if you can play Steven Adams off the floor when he does come back healthy in the playoffs, this could be something that the Grizzlies might lose, because we saw it last year. There's certain playoff series against certain teams where Steven Adams is unable to play because of the play style that's being played on the court. I think they need this is a moment where you realize, okay, they need to adapt. How do we win games when we can't play Steven Adams, and how do we still control the board?
Well, I don't agree with that, because I don't think they have any issues rebounding even when he's not out there. Xavier Tillman can definitely grab me boards. Jaren Jackson does a great job at grabbing boards. Ja does a great job even at grabbing boards. So my issue is they can't hit threes at all. They cannot hit threes some nights. And that gets me back to my thought of, all right, I don't think Dillon is having a great year. I would trade Dillon Brooks immediately. I think the guys, John Conchar, David Roddy, like these are nice pieces. I can win with Triple J as my big man and giving Steven Adams 20 minutes in the postseason. You can win like that. Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, whoever's the big man, you can win like that. But I can't win if I'm not hitting threes outside of like Desmond Bane, Triple J sometimes, and Ja. So I would, and Danny Green might really help that. We'll wait and see with that. But I would definitely try and upgrade. All this kind of like this nice assortment of good players, but I don't think it would. I don't think it's going to get them as far as they want to. But at the same time, you do get a little bit. You shrink your rotations when you get into the playoffs. But Dylan Brooks, his 9-point game last night. I know he's great on defense. It's just I don't know. It kind of gave me like the go ahead of it's like, yeah, all right, let's trade him.
So also let's give a little shout out to a guy who made his debut today or last night. You know who that was?
Danny Green.
Yeah.
Danny Red.
He recovered from an blown knee in 8 months, was it, or 6 months or whatever? 8 months, I think it was. He blew it out in May. 8 months. Came out, played 10 minutes, shot 4 shots, all of them being 3-pointers, made 1 3, had 4 rebounds, a steal, and assist. This is a guy that I think they're fine keeping for the playoffs, but also at the same time, I would not be surprised if they're calling up teams and being like, look, if we package Danny Green with I don't know who, because I know this is a team that very much likes older players, but like let's say they package Danny Green with Tillman because I think his contract has either 1 year left or it's expiring. So let's just say that. Do they go out and try to get someone? See, I wouldn't trade Danny Green for Jay Crowder because it'd be a very similar player, and I trust Danny Green to be a better shooter than Jay Crowder right now. So I don't know. Do you think this is a team that should be looking for like a Terrence Ross, a Gary Harris?
Definitely, yeah, 100%. They only make 11 threes a night, and I feel like a lot of those are John Bain. So
yeah, John Bain.
I think
and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, I mean, he hit this horrible brick late in the game last
night. Oh my God, I did see that.
But I think those are 2 nice candidates. I can't think of anybody else outside of those guys, at least right now. But yeah, 100%. There are some teams that will have 11 threes after midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, I think this team, they're good at this, the big position. Like they have 4 back, they have 5 bigs, including Steven Adams. Guard, you could say, Tyus Jones, Desmond Bain, and then you have like John Conchar, Zaire Williams. But really, Zaire Williams and John Conchar also play wing. I just think this team is Zaire Williams is a little streaky. So is Dylan Brooks in terms of shooting consistently. So that's why I just feel like if you can flip Danny Green into somebody, a vet, that'd be something they're interested in.
Yeah, I'd actually rather focus on Zaire. I don't want, I like Zaire a lot, but I don't know if they have the time, and he's one of their best young assets. So we'll see. But it's kind of hard to even imagine Zaire Williams getting traded at the deadline right now. I don't think that would happen.
No, I think they really like Zaire Williams. And Zaire Williams would only be traded if it was for like OG Anunoby.
Yeah, so I'd go get OG.
Like
OG Memphis.
I wouldn't trade Zaire Williams for like a Gary Harris. I would trade Zaire. Like I would package. I think you could get away with a package. I think it is like Zaire, Danny Green, and probably like Kennedy Chandler. Maybe offer 2 first-round picks. It's not a bad deal. That's really not a bad deal because you give the Raptors a point guard in Chandler. You give them a wing in Zaire Williams, and then Danny Green. They can either turn around and get a 3rd team in the deal that's like a contending team, or they could just waive him and buy him out.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I wonder if the Knicks are actually offering them 3 firsts. Because I think I don't think it. I think at the end of the day, what it's going to come down if you want OG Anunoby is it's
the assets.
It might be 3 firsts if the Knicks are serious.
I think it's 3. I think a lot of teams would give up 3 firsts for OG. I think it comes down to what are you packaging with those 3 firsts.
Yeah, Zaire Williams and 2 firsts is
better than Evan Fournier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better than Evan Fournier and 3 firsts.
Yes.
Because I think the offers that they could make is either Evan Fournier is like a perfect match with the salary and 3 firsts, or you can do 3 firsts and like Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, and like
Reddish, man.
You know what I mean? Or like Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose and 3 firsts. Like I think Zaire Williams and Danny Green is a better package than anything the Knicks can offer. Because the young guys they can offer aren't the young guys you'd be interested in. But let's move on over to, we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics. What do you think about that game? I actually watched this with Luke, and I kept telling Luke, I was like, we should just turn this game off. Like, there's like no point in watching this anymore. And he just kept telling me, like, oh, let's just leave it on, man. He's like,
that's
my
like,
team.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you're a Celtics fan watching that game. That would be awesome. So I'm no disrespect, but I am currently 1-0, and it wasn't even close in our pick. So shout out to me. But no, that was probably the best first quarter of the season. That might have been one of the best first quarters I've seen that of recent memory. I can't think of a better first quarter you could possibly have. And it was really frustrating because I'm like fighting for a fantasy spot. I'm on the